Was this Cooper Webb's best ride of the season? What do you rate his ride for Arlington Supercross?
I know that we want to go with it's the best ride. I think it's up there. I think Detroit was also very, very good. I would give this a 9 specifically because he looked a little off, but still got it done, you know? So I'm going to go with a 9 for Cooper Webb.
I'm giving Cooper Webb an 8 out of 10. I think personally, he most likely doesn't win the third race if Chase doesn't throw it away.
Whoa, yeah, but he did.
But honestly, no, Cooper Webb rode amazing. And I might have to say that this was his best race of the year because him not qualifying so great and then coming out and somehow figuring out ways to win a main event, like win the overall. Like, I don't know how that was even possible for him to do that. But yeah, I gave him an 8 out of 10 for that.
He looked off. I mean, he looked better the second 2 races. The first race, he looked really bad, to be honest, but that's why he got 6th. But somebody else that didn't look great, especially in third race, is Chase Sexton. I know I'm skipping around here, but we're going to go with a 7. Honestly, I'm being kind.
I actually gave him a worse score. I gave him a 6 out of 10. I really thought Chase was going to get that overall. I thought he was going to ride smart. I love Chase, man. You should see my comment section. Probably it's crazy right now. But I gave him a 6 out of 10 because, one, he didn't qualify that great. He did crash at the very end of his qualifying, so I think that kind of chalked him a little bit. And then in the main events, he went 3-2-5. He should have won the last race, should have got the overall, but he didn't. And so for that, I'm going to give him a 6 because I expected him to win that race, and I'm kind of was just let down, to be fair. But yeah, what do you give Ken Rcozen?
8, because Kenny's just a solid top performer. Okay, he's going to do this the rest of the year just to be up there and just fighting for it. Maybe not getting the win, maybe not getting second, but I think with the field thinned out a little bit, Kenny finishes on the podium like 90% of the rest of the races. There might be an outlier here or there, but I just really don't see Ken Rcozen off the podium at all. Like his opening laps are just so good. His starts have obviously been incredible. And even when the starts aren't good, he's still there somehow, you know, and he was on the podium pretty consistently, even with Tomac and Jet. Now with those guys out, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think he's going to be up there.
I 100% agree with you. I also agree with giving Kenny an 8 out of 10. He rode fantastic. Qualified third, which is great for Kenny. And then he went 1-5-3 for second place overall, which was honestly super good. And if you guys watched our review, I mentioned that he's been on the podium 5 out of the 7 times this year, bro. That's crazy.
And one of them was Tampa, where he got absolutely just robbed. I think Ken Rcozen has a better chance of finishing on the podium every round of the rest of the season, more than Chase.
That's a super hot take. Wow. That is crazy.
It's really not that hot.
I mean, after what we watched
the beginning of the season, it is really not that hot.
That is very, very true. Yeah. What about Justin Cooper, who his starts were insane?
Starting to see Justin Coop, starting to see him come back, like all of it. Okay, hit the freaking whoops. Okay, you know, hit the whoops, and we might like have a lot of podiums here, you know?
I will say those whoops were sketchy, so I don't mind the jump through those.
They're always sketchy.
Yeah, but those are worse. Those are worse.
Like,
Rcozen's an outlier, bro.
Rcozen's like 5th wicked. What do you mean?
Rcozen's an outlier. No, everybody was jumping those whoops.
Oh my gosh, Rcozen's just absolutely just skimming them like on the tough blocks. But for Cooper, because I see him progressing so much, and I'd give him an 8 as well. Just solid ride.
That's what I gave him as well. Like he rode great, man. He was leading main event number 1 for 10 minutes, I think, something like that.
Very strong too.
Got a second podium in race 2, got third, and then obviously in the third race he got 6th, which is kind of bum for him. If he doesn't get 6th in that race, he gets a podium overall because he would have beat Chase, in my opinion.
Yeah, he looks back. Like maybe not fully back, but definitely like he looks a lot more like himself, which is cool.
What about your guy, Jason Anderson?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. We're gonna give Anderson a 6. However, but he's looking feisty, you know, just like he looks great and looks like he's got speed. And you know, we're watching the battle for second or third, and then all of a sudden Anderson's there, borderline out of control like he normally is. It's just, and then he decides to just absolutely punt the punter himself, Justin Barcia, and then Barcia's toes get stuck in his rear. You know, I don't know. It was not the best decision. I respect it, and I'm here for it, and I loved it. And thank you for doing it. Please do it again. But not the best decision, so I'll go with 6.
That race for Jason was kind of a weird one, man. I gave him a 5 out of 10.
Whoa.
And, dude, hear me out on this. Qualified 4th. Great. That's freaking amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened in race 1? Did he go down? He was literally top 5 and then got 12th. Like, I don't know what happened. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Race number 2, punts Barcia to the moon. Like toes get stuck and everything. Gets lapped, finished 17th. And then race number 3, he gets second. So I'm like,
that's my guy.
Like, why can't you do that in race 1 and 2?
That's like the most Jason Anderson night you could have, like, just like running solid, crashes, finishes outside of the top 10. Running solid, punts a guy, finishes outside of the top 10, second. That's like the most Jason Anderson night you could possibly come up with, and I'm here for it. I love it.
It's every year, bro. He has these weird races where he just takes people out and then ruins his chip. I don't get it. I don't get it. A couple years ago, it was Malcolm at Daytona. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't get it. Okay, his counterpart, Justin Barcia. I personally gave him a 7 out of 10 for his ride because he qualified, not the greatest, 11th, but he showed speed, all right? In Moto 1, 5th. Really good. Moto 2, even getting his toes stuck in the bike, he got 9th, which is better than Anderson. I don't know what happened to Anderson. Like, maybe his bike messed up or something because of the incident. And then in race number 3, he got 4th. Barcia's coming back, man, a little bit.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked like he had pace. Like, maybe not winnable pace, but top 5, consistent top 5-able pace. I also gave him a 7.
He doesn't go down with Anderson there. They finished probably 5-6, man. Like, I don't get it. They finished 5-6 there. Like, why are you guys punting each other? And you guys could have maybe get top 4. Like, I don't get it.
I was going bad either way, because even if they didn't get stuck, if Anderson or Barcia didn't get stuck in Anderson's bike, Barcia was going to unalive Ando the next corner. As soon as Barcia made the aggressive pass, they were both going down.
Yeah, I just don't get it sometimes. I really don't.
What about Justin number 3?
Justin Hill rode fantastic, man. Who had that? Who had him on top quality? Let me know in the comments. Who predicted that? Nobody. I gave Justin Hill an 8 out of 10 for that ride. Top quality deserves like triple points. I don't know, like non-factory team, top quality, like insane. He went 4.48. That 8 is an outlier. I don't know, maybe bad start. I don't even care about that. 4.4, almost top 3 in one of the races. He was right there, dude. One of the races. He had the speed. He gets 5th overall, which is fantastic.
I'm gonna go and give him a 9, actually.
Ooh, okay.
Just because he gets extra points. I was gonna do an 8, but he gets extra points because he's a privateer, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that is just crazy. I mean, and I know it's one of those saddling teams, and somebody's gonna type in the comments, but you know, pipe down. It's a privateer effort. It's not a factory engine.
It's crazy. He's riding so good, bro. What do you give AP?
Going to 7 again. Solid. A little bit of improving, just like constantly improving a little bit, getting back to where I think he needs to be and is capable to be like Anderson, like up there fighting for podiums during some of the races, maybe 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, you know, like that's where AP needs to be. I don't know. I heard like last week, I heard he was sick, and I've talked with McElrath a little bit. Looks like he's still like sick, kind of like lingering, you know? And so I'm wondering, like, is maybe AP still lingering with the sick? Because it seems like he's got a ton of pace and then just kind of fades. And that's never really been a trait that I've seen in AP. Like, I would have never said he's one to fade. I'm hoping maybe he's just sick and recovering from it. And
like a very, very strange like weekend for AP, in my opinion. It was 6 overall in qualifying, so he has the pace. I mean, he ran a 48.4, which is literally top 4 time right there, like literally. But in the main events, he had decent starts, especially in race number 3. He basically pulled the whole, I think he did pull the whole shot in race number 3. And then almost went down in the whoops, went on the side of the track, went over a tough block, and then it was just GG's after that. He finished 10th in that race. He finished 7th overall.
The same thing in Detroit. Remember, got a really good start and then just kind of faded back. I'm wondering if there's just another element that we just don't know about, sickness, or because it seems uncharacteristic, unless he was just off the pace, which obviously I just don't think he is.
Well, like for him, I gave him a 6 out of 10. I think he's a top 5 guy, and I really think that once he maybe gets over that sickness, we can maybe finally see that, and maybe he won't fade. But now going to Malcolm Stewart.
Kind of disappointing.
Dude, super disappointing.
I gave him a 6. Just seems to be declining ever since his win, which was kind of a surprise. You know, I mean, I thought that I didn't know that I expected him to go out and like get another win immediately, but like be up there, you know. But yeah, I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, I also gave him a 6 out of 10. I mean, he had to have something going on this weekend because this is uncharacteristic for what we've seen this year. He went 8, 12, 7. Like, it's very uncharacteristic by Malcolm. So something was happening for sure. But yeah, just very, very uncharacteristic. But let's go over to the 250 class. All right. And let's start with Haiden Deegan.
I think you got to go to a 9, you know? I don't think you can do anything other than a 9. Maybe a 10?
You can't give him a 10. There's no way you're giving him 10.
I mean, I can. I live in the Freedom Land, so I can. So do you. You actually probably live in more of a free state than me, but yeah, I mean, you could argue a 10. I think he kind of let that third race go, and I think if he needed to win that race, he would have, or at least would have been closer to battling with Cole. Cole was riding great though, but yeah, I think a 9.
I also gave him a 9 out of 10. He didn't top quali, right? He got second behind Cole. And then obviously you guys watch what happened. He went 1-1-2 in that third race. Let's be real here. He was toying with Juju a little bit, cost him some time. So like, if he really wanted to go out there and like win the race, I think he could have, but I think he was also wanting to like show up like Juju a little bit.
You see him almost crash in the whoops when you see there's a clip of Cole almost wadding in the whoops, and then right the last second you see Deegan coming in and he's just like completely sideways dropping into the middle of the whoops, like both feet off the pegs. I mean, they both almost died in the I'll have to find it and send it to you, because Cole and Deegan almost both died in the whoops, like literally probably 4 bike lengths apart. Crazy.
That's crazy. I did not see that. What do you give Cole Davies then?
I think we got to give him a 7. I only because that I don't know, whatever happened in the second race. The first crash was not his fault.
Not at all.
I mean, I kind of want to give him an 8, to be honest, because
keep it at a 7.
I mean, he top qualled. The fourth was, I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I mean, it's fine. I don't think I would have thought anything of it. He was in a great spot to win, you know, to be on the podium. Obviously, he has the speed to win. Went out and bodied everybody in the third race. That second race really got a bad luck of the draw on that one. Just got absolutely bodied by Mr. Cole Thompson, which is fitting. And then I guess crashed again. Said he was pretty banged up. So kind of I mean, we have to base it off of the result, I guess, but also kind of give him a pass on that one because he just got yeeted. But yeah, 7 or an 8. I'd like to give him an 8.
I'm gonna say 7. You could go 7.5 if you wanted to, but like, yeah, top quality. Honestly, I'm not surprised by the top quality because we've seen his speed all year long, right? So I'm not too surprised about that. But I was kind of surprised that he didn't go up further in race 1 just a little bit. I mean, obviously 4th is still great, right? But I was just kind of surprised he didn't move up a little bit. And then obviously Moto 2 go down on the start, goes down again. Very unfortunate. He was up to like, I think we talked about this, like 10th, maybe 9 or 10 or 11 right there before he crashed. So like he was going to go up even further, I think, because there was still like 5 minutes left. And then and then unfortunately crashed again. And then obviously we saw his raw speed in Moto 3 gets basically the whole shot and just checks out, right, with Coty Schock. But yeah, I think if he does a little bit better in race 2, that our ratings probably go up a little bit. And I'm excited to see what he can do in the East-West Showdown, man. It's going to be so sick to watch. But what about Julien Beaumer?
He just looked off. Now, obviously, after the fact, we found out that sounds like he has some shoulder issues. Shoulder came out, had to race after that. So maybe he was probably hurting, I would imagine, and just was weak. But I mean, pretty subpar for him. So I think a 6 is really the only place I could land on that. Trying to be, I mean, like if Deegan went out and did that, I think I'd hammer like a 5 or a 6 because it's just unacceptable for those 3 guys, really, Davies, Deegan, or Juju. But with the injury, I think I have to give him a little grace. 6 or 6.5 maybe.
I went with the 6 out of 10. I totally agree with everything you just said. And when we're watching the race, we don't know his shoulders. Like, he had that shoulder injury, right? So it's like, I said this in the review, like when we're watching the race and we're reacting, we're all thinking like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is he going so bad, right? But even with that injury, didn't have the greatest first 2 motos. Maybe it was chalking him a little bit. Maybe it was sore. It was tight. Went 6.84 for 6 overall, but keeping everything in together, like a 6 out of 10. Kind of just, we expect top 3 every week by Juju right now, right? Because he's like he was the red plate holder, right? So, but what about a guy that has been hurt and now is maybe coming back off of injury a little bit, and that is Joe Shimoda. Like, obviously his fingers are still broken a little bit, but he looks better.
Yeah, I'm gonna go higher on this one because of that. I mean, he's still riding with a broken hand, so an 8. He looked great. He looked real racy. It looked like at any point, it looks like he fades a little bit, but I feel like that's kind of expected with not being able to hold on really tight. So looked like he could have got a podium at any point.
I 100% agree. It's a shame that he went to the 2 hand guards, though. I love the meta of the 1 hand guard. I thought that was awesome, but he went with 2 hand guards for Arlington, and I gave him a 7 out of 10. He qualified great, 5th overall, and then went 5.53. He showed speed in that 3rd race, and he showed, honestly, he showed really good speed in the 1st race, getting the whole shot, and he kind of faded to 5th, like you mentioned, probably holding on. And it's probably even worse, too, when you got to go 3 10-minute motos at that intensity, too, right? But I think he rode super good, and I really wish that he didn't get hurt at San Diego, because I think he would be in this chip, bro.
Oh, 100%. He would
be. It's just so unfortunate.
He would be a force, like a contender for sure.
What about the 2nd place guy, Coty Schock?
I mean, dude, if we're giving them ratings based off of who they are, I think you got to go with a 9.
I went with the 9 as well, dude.
I think you have to, I think that it was just an incredible breakout ride. I know that you think he's only a top 20 guy, but
here we go again with that.
But no, honestly, starts were dialed, speed was dialed, consistency was dialed. Maybe doesn't have the raw pace of the top guys, but didn't need it.
First time ever getting a podium too, which is super sick. I regret putting him 20th in my preseason ranking.
As you should.
That's definitely on me.
What about Mosey?
Mosiman had almost a breakout ride to a degree as well, in my opinion. He's been picking up every single week. He's been getting better and better and better, and finally he got back onto the box, and I gave him a 8 out of 10 for that.
Same. I was gonna give him a 9, but I had to deduct 1 for the neck brace. So he gets an 8. I'm just kidding, but also not.
So yeah, so those are all the 250 riders that we personally have that we're going to talk about or rate per se. With all that being said, rate the riders in the comment section below. Give us your guys' opinions on the top guys. What? Oh Lord. But yeah, let us know your guys' ratings in the comment section below, the top guys. Thank you guys so much for all the love on these videos, and tomorrow be on the lookout for a new video that we're going to be trying out. It's going to be a little head-to-head matchup, who wins at Daytona, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And thank you guys so much for the love. Hit that like and sub button, and we're out. Peace.